One of the characteristics of humanity is that we are constantly searching for new and interesting information about the world around us.
Scientists, it's our responsibility to find a fix.
Years ago, we sailed the great seas in search of a foreign land and a better understanding of our world. While science and research have helped us learn more than we could have ever imagined about life on Earth, there are still countless mysteries about humanity that remain unsolved. Today, we'd like to introduce you to some of the mysterious secrets about humanity's past that have yet to be deciphered. What are the Longyu Caves? One of the most mysterious discoveries about ancient humanity takes us to China. The story leads us to the Longyu Grottos, better known as the Longyu Caves. They're located near Fenghuang Hill and were named after a famous bird from Chinese mythology. The story of the caves takes us back about 2,000 years. So far, we've discovered 24 of these caves that appear to have been carved into the sandstone. We don't know too much about the area, but the caves take up about 380 acres of land. At the moment, only 7 of the caves can be entered. The others have yet to be accessed by humans because the locations are almost impossible to reach. One of the longest of the caves is estimated to be about 30 meters high, though it wasn't discovered until 1992. Imagine building a complex cave system alongside your fellow workers. You spend tens of years working on these caves, then humanity completely forgets you ever did it. Isn't that crazy? These caves have been sitting here all this time, and even with our extensive knowledge of Chinese history, we had no idea they were there. The legend says that local farmers wanted to use the land as a fishing spot. They needed to pump out all of the water to make fishing easier, and that's when they began to notice the caves that had been filled with water for more than 2,000 years. One by one, each of the caves was slowly revealed. The discovery would change Chinese history forever, though we have no idea what the caves may have been used for. Researchers found tons of ceramic materials in the caves, but these don't do much in regards to telling the story of this long-forgotten cave system. The best theory experts have come up with is that the caves were used as a makeshift bunker before they were later filled with rainwater. We know that they would have been carved around the time of the Qin dynasty, but that's about as far as our research can take us. No matter how deeply we've searched the caves, there's little information to go on, and researchers still have no idea what secrets or mysteries these caves may hold. Who created the lines in Bolivia? This is one of the biggest mysteries we've ever uncovered, but we still don't know the story behind it. Known as the Sahama Lines, these lines are actually long stretches of road that have been carved out of the undergrowth. Thousands of years ago, humans had incredible mapping abilities that we are still yet to understand. We were able to create amazing, accurate maps and make our way across landscapes in ways that we couldn't even imagine to this day. The skills that were required for this remain unknown, but it seems like ancient humans may have had access to long-forgotten knowledge that may have helped them on their journey. The Sahama Lines are no exception. These lines are a network of thousands upon thousands of paths that extend over a straight stretch of land and do not turn, bend, or waver in any way. In total, the lines cover an area of about 22,000 square kilometers. Our research seems to claim that the lines may have been used to help indigenous people navigate the difficult terrain at least 3,000 years ago, but we really don't know for sure. To put this into perspective, imagine you took a stick and drew a line in the sand for about 10 or 20 feet. While the line may seem straight as you're carving it, when you stand back, you'll always realize that the line bends a little bit. It takes a lot of math, calculation, and preparation to create a line that is truly straight. But get this, The Sahama lines were not carved into the sand. They were carved into patches of trees, grass, brush, and undergrowth over hundreds of years. Yet they are somehow 100% straight and do not bend even a little bit. This would be nearly impossible for humans to do today. So how did they do it all those years ago? We have no idea. This gigantic system of lines is so huge that you can't see it all from the ground. The only way to understand how large the lined area is would be to take a helicopter or a plane and look at it from above. That makes it even crazier, because humans obviously would not have had these technologies all those years ago. Or did they? Either way, we have no idea what these lines would have been used for, but it would make sense that they could have been used to make navigation a bit easier. The other option is that they were used for rituals or religious ceremonies, but this is just a guess. Ultimately, we have no idea. What's even more interesting is that if you took all the lines and put them together end to end, they would reach over 16,000 kilometers. That's insane. We may never know the true meaning behind these lines, but their impact will live on for many years to come as we continue to investigate them in the coming decades. What was the Castel del Monte used for? This story takes us to southeast Italy. The Castel del Monte is an incredible castle that was designed between 1240 and 1250. Even though the castle is huge and would have cost a serious amount of money to construct, it was never completed. There are tons of structural questions about the building, and we don't really know how the building is still standing. It's difficult to understand how it was constructed, and we've been trying to grasp the concept for hundreds of years, but are no closer now than we were all that time ago. The castle has been very interesting to many researchers because its architecture is unlike anything we've ever seen before. It wasn't designed to look like a typical castle or building. Instead, it was constructed in an octagonal shape. The building is very unique and doesn't share many characteristics with other buildings or castles in the area, so it's very hard to determine why it would have been built and what would have caused the builders to create such an interesting work of art. The background of the building remains up for debate, and the topic is highly controversial. This is because we don't fully understand how it was built, nor do we know who built it or for what purpose. Several experts claim that the building could have been used as a hunting lodge, but it seems excessive that a building so large would have been constructed strictly for hunting purposes, though stranger things have happened. The other idea is that it was built to hold valuables and treasures and keep them secure from the outside world and enemies, though this isn't the only theory. Another theory claims that the octagonal shape looks a lot like a crown. Considering Friedrich II was in power at the time, it would make sense that he could have constructed the castle as a way to mimic the shape of his crown, possibly using it as a home or for a new area to carry out the various businesses he may need to attend to as a ruler. Whatever its cause, we don't know. And the truth is, most of these theories lack any evidence to back them up. They're just guesses. To make things even stranger, the castle doesn't have any defensive devices or trenches or loopholes. This means that it would be very difficult to protect if enemy forces decided to move in. This essentially ruins the idea that the building could have been used to house gold, precious jewels, or other valuables. Without a way to keep track of them and protect them, this would have been one of the worst castles or vaults of all time. But things only get weirder as we make our way inside of the building. The castle was designed with amazing decorations that rival some of the other high-end castles of the time. It was also designed with the sun's glare in mind, so that beautiful shadows will be cast through the windows and onto the surrounding areas. But even stranger is that many of the rooms inside of the castle cannot be accessed through the main entrances. Instead, they're hidden within the walls of the building and must be accessed through all sorts of strange ways. At the end of the day, we have no idea what this castle could have been used for. Your guess is as good as ours. So let us know what you think in the comments. Was this a military base, a home, a hunting lodge? The world may never know. Is the Antikythera Mechanism an ancient computer? This video wouldn't be complete without mentioning the legendary Antikythera Mechanism. We all know that the ancient Greeks were some of the smartest humans to ever live. To be perfectly honest, if the ancient Greeks were still around today, they'd likely be a heck of a lot smarter than we are and be able to conquer the world with ease. These guys possessed almost superhuman knowledge about the world around them, and we're still struggling to learn how they discovered so many mysteries of the universe all those years ago. The Antikythera Mechanism is one of the most interesting pieces of equipment we've ever discovered, and it was found off the coast of Antikythera, an island that belongs to Greece. Ever since its discovery, scientists have been working day and night to understand what this device could have been used for and how it was constructed. We know that it was built from bronze, but almost any hope of bringing the device back to life has been completely destroyed. It's far from oxidized and is completely seized. Thankfully, computers have allowed us to create digital reconstructions of the device, but that still doesn't mean that our theories are completely true. Most scientists believe that the device would have been used to monitor the stars and would have been finely tuned to coincide with the sun, moon, and various planets in the solar system. The mechanism would have helped the Greeks to better understand the movements of the planets and help them cultivate crops based on the incoming seasonal changes. This theory continues to claim that the device could have also functioned as a calendar and that it would have been used to create solar calendars, lunar calendars, and even a 4-year calendar. Still, we don't know any of this for certain. But research is still ongoing, and we could eventually have an explanation about how this device was built and what it would have been used for. For the moment, we're left with nothing more than guesswork by scientists and experts. But there's a lot of hope that this device will be deciphered once and for all in the coming years. Clearly, ancient humanity had a lot more answers about the universe than we have today. By all means, ancient humans were likely far smarter than we could ever give them enough credit for. While they may not have had access to all the technology that we have today, they used the resources around them to come up with some very inventive ways of navigating the world. So that's the video for today. Which of these stories did you find the most interesting? Did we miss anything you'd like to see us cover in a future video? Let us know in the comments. Also, feel free to share your own theories about everything we've covered today. We're always looking for suggestions about future topics and theories from you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.